Welcome to another Scott Tanner Violin video, where I create videos to help you become a more successful violin student. And hey, if you get a chance, jump over to my YouTube channel, Scott Tanner Violin, where you'll find videos on playing sit etudes, Suzuki book pieces, also general-related violin music videos, for instance, tuning pitches, and my own personal music violin videos. I'm so glad you joined me today for this video, where we'll be working on the 7th piece in the Suzuki Violin repertoire, Long, Long Ago. And of course, guys, after you've worked with this video for a little bit of time and you feel like you're starting to understand some of the technique provided in this video, you may want to utilize the timestamps provided below to jump ahead to a section of the video where you need to practice most. There are 4 primary teaching points. The first one is that it's time now to move your thumb from the outside of the frog to the inside. A lot of violin students begin with their thumb on the outside of the bow, like this. And now it's time to begin working on putting the thumb on the inside, which will take some amount of time to get used to. The second teaching point, which I've already introduced in previous Suzuki songs and videos, is the use of a whole bow and a bow distribution. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes when we talk about the right hand technique. The third teaching point in Long, Long Ago is really just the introduction of playing on the D string. One of the ways to introduce the D major string is by reviewing the Suzuki variations in the key of D. Here's an example of variation A starting on the D string. The fourth teaching point is really a bow technique called circlebacks, or to recover your bow. And we'll get into that in just a few minutes as well. As usual, I like to break down these pieces into a left-hand technique and a right-hand technique. And a lot of these techniques build on each other from previous videos or from previous pieces. Let's move on then to the left-hand technique. The first left-hand item technique is something we've already covered now in the last 2 videos. And that's simply a tunnel E. I'll demonstrate for you real quick again. But essentially that's placing a second or a third finger on the A string while tunneling the E string and then playing that open string. Long, Long Ago is also a good opportunity to introduce the 4th finger. We have an option in this piece to either play the open E or the 4th finger. And that's from measure 6 to 7. That sounds like this. We also find in measure 9 the opportunity to jump first finger from the A string to the D string. We don't want to cover these notes with first finger on A string and D string. We want to actually learn how to jump across the string without lowering the first finger on the D string, which is a common tendency. Notice how my bow moves at the same time as my finger. Up to this point, we've mostly been playing a single dynamic, with the exception of a forte and a piano dynamic difference in the previous song. So now we actually have crescendos and decrescendos. A crescendo, again, is to become a little bit louder, which we do through the length of bow and bow speed. To decrescendo, or to become quieter, we use less bow speed and less bow. The right hand technique, first of all, involves the bow distribution. I'll demonstrate the bow distribution just on open A. I'm also going to talk to you about bow recovers, which we find in Long, Long Ago. Some people refer to them as circle backs. And this circle back, or bow recover, happens on the E string over to the A string. Whenever we play circle backs or bow recovers, we want to make sure that the elbow, the hand, and the tip of the bow all move together in the same circle. I would encourage you to practice some circle backs, either on A string or E string, or a combination of using both strings, working on providing a circle or creating the circle with those parts of our arm, hand, and bow. We're now ready to move on to the practice session of this video, which means basically I'll just play it at a very slow tempo so that you can keep up, and so that you also can pay attention to what's written on the screen here to help you remember some of the things we talked about. I'll begin with an introduction. If you were able to play through the practice segment of that video without any mistakes, then you're ready to move on to the performance video. A performance video will be the tempo that would be appropriate for a recital. And I always like to remind you that if you need to slow this segment of the video down, or if you want to speed it up, you can do so by going to the settings wheel found in the bottom right-hand side where you can adjust the playback speed. Here's an introduction to a performance tempo of Long, Long Ago. When you're able to play through that segment of the video with me without any mistakes, then you are ready to move on to the next piece in the Suzuki Violin repertoire, Allegro. So keep practicing, keep up the good work, and I'll see you over in the next video.